Okay, Minal. I'll just share my screen.
Okay, ma'am.
So, if you want to discuss anything from the last video, or shall I start?
Ma'am, you can start.
Okay. So, if we look at the recap, in the last video, what we have done, we have just given a meaning to this f of z dz when c is a curve, right, in a complex plane. So we have seen what is the meaning of this thing, and then we have seen that if you have a function fz which is analytic on and inside a curve c, right, then integral of fz dz c, on and inside, you should have it should be on and inside. Okay, then the integral of fz along c is 0, right? So this is what we had seen in the last video, and we have also seen that uh, this region can be simply connected or multiply connected. Okay, and then we were doing the consequences of this theorem is called Cauchy's theorem, and the converse of Cauchy's theorem is Morare's theorem, right? And then we were looking at the consequences of Cauchy's theorem. So first consequence was that if you have a point, say z1, another point z2, then if fz is analytic function, then integral of fz dz, okay, from the point z1 to z2 is independent of path, right? It means that if you are going from z1 to z2 along the path c1, that is same as if you go from z1 to z2 along some other path c2, right? So we have seen that if fz is analytic, then this integral z1 to z2, that also makes sense, because in that case you don't have to specify what is the path, because that integral is path dependent. Is that thing clear? So
Yes,
today
ma'am.
we will be doing the next consequence. This is what we have already done in the last video. So the next consequence, which is very important of Cauchy's theorem, is we sometimes call it as deformation. So it says that the second consequence says that suppose you have a curve C, right, positively oriented I'm taking, and another curve C1, that also I'm taking positively oriented. And suppose here between these two curves C1 and C2 the function is analytic, right? Let fz be analytic between C and C1 and on these curves too, right? So we are saying that your function fz is analytic on this curve C1, on this curve C, and in the region between these two curves. Everywhere the function is analytic. Then the integral of fz dz along C will be same as integral of fz dz along C1, right? Now it means that you can ignore the area where the function is analytic. Okay, so it is very easy to prove. What you can do is you can form a curve gamma which is C minus C1. You can form a curve gamma which is C minus C1. Now can you see what is this curve? This curve contains this part, and minus C1 means this part. Now can you tell me the region between which is enclosed by gamma? Region enclosed by gamma is, you see, I told you that if gamma is positively oriented, then if you're moving perpendicular to the plane, then the region should be on the left. So here
Hmm.
you see, here you are moving, region is towards the left. And because I am taking minus C1, so I will move like this clockwise. So this region is towards my left. So the region enclosed by gamma is the yellow shaded region. Is that thing clear, Minal?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Therefore,
Which is
now,
analytic.
yeah, so now you have a function fz which is analytic on and inside gamma, right? Function fz is analytic on an inside gamma. Therefore, by Cauchy's theorem, integral of fz along gamma is 0. So that will be c minus c1 fz dz is 0. So that gives you c fz dz minus c1 fz dz. Okay, so we have this property that integral along minus c1 is minus times the integral. That is why minus. So you'll get integral fz dz is same as integral fz dz along c, here along c1. So it means that you can always bring your integral down to another curve, provided suppose you want to take the integral along this curve. So you can keep on shrinking this integral till the time you don't get any point which is not good. If you get a point somewhere here, suppose here is a point which where the on which at which the function is not analytic, then you cannot move further. Okay, so by the time you are not getting any such point, if your function is analytic, you can keep on shrinking the curve. We will see that this particular thing is very useful when we solve the problems, right? So I'll give you the examples. So now we will be just discussing the examples. So we have this much theory is required for Cauchy's theorem, as far as Cauchy's theorem is concerned. So you see, suppose you have this problem, integral dz upon z minus a along a curve C, right, where C is any curve not containing A. Okay, if C is any curve not containing A, then 1 upon z minus A. We know this is an analytic function except at z is equal to A. So here we are saying that C is any curve not containing A means A is not inside C. A is not on or inside C. Right? So you have this situation that this is your curve C and A is somewhere here. So our function is analytic on and inside C. Therefore, by Cauchy's theorem, this integral is 0. This integral is 0. Okay? Now, suppose the same problem is given. You have to compute integral z minus 1 upon z minus a dz along C, where C is a closed curve and z is equal to a is inside the curve. So it is like this. So you have any curve. Nothing is given about curve. This is a point A. Now you see here the exact definition of the curve is not given. You are not given what is this curve. So what we will do, we will just make a circle around A. We will make a circle say of radius, whatever radius you want, say epsilon around A. Call this as C1, right? Positively oriented. Then from the consequence of Cauchy's theorem, because in this region here, the function is analytic, right? Because the function is not analytical only at z is equal to a, and that z is equal to a point is not in the yellow shaded region. Therefore, by consequence of Cauchy's theorem, you have integral 1 upon z minus a dz along C is same as integral 1 upon z minus a dz along C1. Okay, Minal, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you see in
Yes,
the
ma'am.
problems where the definition is not given. So this is the technique you have to use. Fine. So because C is not given,
Okay.
so you can bring the integral along C to the integral along C1, where C1, the definition of C1 is a circle with center A and radius epsilon, right? So this is Z minus A equal to epsilon. This is the equation of C1. Okay. So from here you can write Z is equal to A plus epsilon e raised power iota theta, right? Where theta is between 0 and 2 pi. Okay. Is that thing clear? So now
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
just do it here. So this integral, so your dz becomes epsilon iota e raised power iota theta d theta. So this will be 0 to 2 pi. Instead of dz, you will write epsilon iota e raised power iota theta d theta. And in z minus a, in place of z minus a, you will write epsilon e raised power iota theta. So this epsilon and this epsilon will cancel. E raised power iota theta and e raised power iota theta will cancel. Now you can just integrate. So you'll get iota 2 pi minus 0. So this integral is 2 pi iota, right? So you can always remember that this integral 1 upon z minus a dz along a curve C, this is 0 if z is equal to a is outside, and this integral is equal to 2 pi iota if z is equal to a is inside the curve, right? Where C is any closed curve. Got it? Nil, can we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we can do similar problems. For example, if you look at this problem, integral 1 upon z along gamma dz, where gamma is an ellipse defined by x square plus 4y square is equal to 1. Okay. Traversed once in the positive sense. Once in the positive sense. Right. So you see here, again, this function is analytic everywhere except at z is equal to 0. So f of z is equal to 1 by z is analytic everywhere except at z is equal to 0. Right. Now you see what is the situation. This is your ellipse. X square plus y square upon 1 by 2 square is equal to 1. So ellipse is having the major axis along x-axis, that is 1, and minor axis along y-axis, that is half. Right. So this is your ellipse along which you want to compute your integral. So obviously you can go for the parameterization of ellipse. But a better technique is, because you know the parameterization of a circle, what you can do is you can just make a circle of radius 1. So just you call this as C, this curve, circle. Now, because your function is analytic in the region between these two curves, right? Therefore, integral along gamma is same as integral along C1. Here, instead of making the region smaller, you are making it bigger because you are trying to make it a circle. You can also make a circle of radius half. That is also a choice. That also you can do. So that is your choice, whatever you want to do, right? So along C1, sorry, not C1, along C. So the integral along gamma is same as integral along C, which is 1 by z dz. And z is equal to 0 is the center. And we have already seen that this integral is equal to 2 pi iota, because here C is a curve containing the point 0. Therefore, this integral is 2 pi iota. Minal, clear?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
While we expand the region of this ellipse to a circle,
Yes.
in that case, this expanded region, yellow region,
Yes.
would the function be analytical in that region also?
Yes, yes, that is a condition, because 1 by z is a function which is analytic everywhere. It has a problem only at z is equal to 0. Then only you can
Okay.
do this thing, right? You can convert C1 to C and vice versa only if in between the region the function is analytic. That is a condition.
Okay.
Right? Now, because 1 by z is analytic everywhere except at z is equal to 0. Right? So even if
Okay.
the definition of analyticity is not clear, you can see that z is equal to 0, the function that is not in the domain of the function. You forget about analyticity. You know? So
Yes.
z is equal to 0, the function is not defined.
Yes.
So it is not analytic at that point.
Yes.
Got it? Is that thing clear?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So let us do more problems. So we have integral mod z is equal to 2 e raised power z upon z square minus 9 dz. So you see, can you comment anything about this function where it is not analytic? You see, e raised power z is everywhere differentiable. So this is a nice function. So it has a problem only at z is equal to plus minus 3. So this function is
Minus 3. Yes, ma'am.
analytic everywhere except at z is equal to plus minus 3. So what should be this integral? And these points, they are outside the region. They are not inside the circle, which are not in the region mod z less than equal to 2. Therefore, function is analytic on and inside this curve. Function is analytic on and inside this curve. On and inside this curve. Therefore, its integral is 0 by Cauchy's theorem.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let us do one more. So you have this integral along gamma 3z minus 2 upon z square minus z dz, where gamma is the simple closed contour, is the simple closed contour shown in the figure. This is the figure you have. This is the point 0. This is the point 1. Right? So this is the contour. Gamma. And you are moving in a positive direction. Right? So your question is that you have to move along this curve here, which is a kind of polygon. Right? And you have to find this integral. Now you see this integral is not analytic. Sorry, this integrand is not analytic at the point z is equal to 0 and z is equal to 1. Okay, at z is equal to 0 and z is equal to 1, function is not analytic. Is that thing clear, Minal?
Yes, ma'am.
And both these points are inside the curve. Both these points are inside our region, right? So what should be our strategy? We already saw in the last question that if there is a single point, we can handle. But now there are 2 points, right? So first thing we are going to do is we will separate these 2 points. So you see this is 3z minus 2 upon z into z minus 1. I can make the partial fractions. I can write it as a upon z plus b upon z minus 1, right? So this is equal to, you can just compute, this is 2 upon z plus 1 upon z minus 1, right? So our integral first becomes along gamma, you have 2 upon z plus 1 upon z minus 1 dz. Why I am doing so? So that this point of the point where the function is not analytic, they are separated. Here 0 is separated and 1 is separated, right? Now you look at the curve again. So you have something like this. Here is your point 0. Here is your point 1, right? So what I will do, this is my gamma, right? So what I will do, I will make another curve gamma 1. So let me tell you, I will make another curve gamma 1, which is this circle. I'll make a small circle here, right? I will call this circle as C1, right? And I will make a small circle here, call that circle as C2, and then I will join these two circles with a straight line, right? So what I am doing is, this curve goes like this. You start from, say, this point, you go like this, okay? You let me change the color. You start from this point, go like this, come here, go like this, and then this C1, cover C1, and then come back here. So you have a closed curve. So I'm
Yes, ma'am.
defining gamma 1 as, I'm starting from here, you see, right? So this is C2 plus this, I'm calling it as L1 or L, then C1, and then this is minus L, because L and minus L just. Can you see? Is that thing clear? I have made this
Yes,
new
ma'am.
curve. And inside gamma and gamma 1, you see here, the function is analytic,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So inside gamma and gamma 1, the function is analytic. Inside gamma and gamma 1, the function is analytic. Therefore, you get that integral along gamma 2 upon z plus 1 upon z minus 1 dz is same as integral along gamma 1 2 upon z plus 1 upon z minus 1 dz. Is that thing clear, Minal?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So this is important. Here, till now you had a single point. If you have a single point where the function is not good, you will just make a circle, as we have done in the last questions. If you have 2 points, then you will make 2 circles and join with the line. Okay? So here you
Yes,
see
ma'am.
what will happen. You just write what is gamma 1. Gamma 1 is C2 plus L plus C1 minus L. 2 upon Z plus 1 upon Z minus 1 dz. So this is equal to, now you just separate C2 along C2, along L, along C1, and along minus L1, L. This and this will cancel, because L along L and along minus L. This will be minus of this, right? Now along C2, your C2 is a circle containing 0 and C1 is a circle containing 1, right? So here if you write down along C2, your integral 2 upon Z plus 1 upon Z minus 1 dz, and then along C1, 2 upon Z plus 1 upon Z minus dz. So this is a circle with center 0, and this is a circle with center 1. And you have to make sure कि your circles are so small कि 0 वाले में 1 नहीं आता और 1 वाले में 0 नहीं आता. We can always do that, right? Because there is a distance between 0 and 1. So we can always make small circles so
Yes,
that
ma'am.
जो इस circle में सिर्फ 0 ही आए, 1 का कोई लेना देना ना हो. And in this circle there is only 0, only 1. 0 का कोई लेना देना ना हो, right? We can do that. So now you see this integral
Yes,
क्या हो
ma'am.
जाएगा? 2 upon z along C2 will be 2 outside, 1 by z dz. This will be 2 pi iota. We have already seen, right? 1 upon z minus a, if the center of the circle is a. Here the center of the circle is 0. So 1 upon z dz will be 2 pi iota. And this will be, because this is analytic in this circle, so this is 0. Got it? And here, this is analytic in the circle because its center is 1. 0 is not inside this. So this is 0 plus this is 2 pi iota. So your total answer is 6 pi iota. Minal, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So these are the strategies which you can use. You can just, if there are 3 points, say, you can just increase this. If suppose your integral is along a curve which contains 3 points where the function is not analytic. So what you can do, you can join, you can make small circles around the 3 points so that one point is not in any other two circles, and then you can join these with straight lines, right? Then you can join this was your original curve gamma, and these curves together, you start from a point, say here, you start from here, okay, here, then trace this circle, don't come back. Okay, so maybe if there are 3 circles, so you have to start like this. Okay, suppose you start from this point, go like this, go like this, okay, from here come like this, right? And then you trace this. Okay, we have to make a closed curve, right? So how can we do that if we have 3 points? So if I'm starting from here, I'll go like this, like this. I came here like this. I will come here, okay? And then from here, I'll go here. Then this. Minal, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Like this. Uh, Still we are missing something. Yeah. Then we will come like this because we have to trace the negative also. Like this and like this. This is a closed curve. Is that okay? So should I repeat?
Ultimately, all these lines will cancel each other.
Yeah, there should be because all these lines has to cancel, right? So you will go back, like from
Yes.
here you will go like this and this coming back. So you should come back to the same point, right, in such a way that all the lines should cancel each other. So you should be left only with the circles, and along the circles you know how to find out the integrals. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I think we can stop here now. In the next video also we'll discuss some more problems for Cauchy's theorem, and then we will move on to Cauchy integral formula. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.